Welcome to Type-C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the Acer Nitro V16 gaming laptop. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same laptop, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's get this unboxed. Now, I think just from the specs, this sounds pretty good. This is using a Ryzen 7 8845HS and RTX 4060. Pretty basic unboxing experience, but I don't care if the monitor is good. That kind of just pulls out. Here we've got a glimpse at the power cable, but honestly, not a lot of frills. This is definitely not a luxurious unboxing experience. You can see just a nice cable, pretty easy to replace if this breaks, which is nice. And then we've got a pretty nice and small power brick. That is nice. Also, power efficiency on the Ryzen 7 8845HS is good. Pair that with the 4060 and you have an integrated GPU, so the efficiency here should be very good if you're not necessarily gaming. But yeah, plugged in, that's a very nice and small power brick, which honestly is super important for a gaming laptop because I think we've all been there with having those giant gaming laptop bricks. Okay, and with that, literally, it's just the laptop left. Initial impressions are it's not too heavy. This is a 16-inch, and this does not have a 16:9. It's a little bit taller with basically a 1080p resolution, but instead of 1920 by 1080, it's 1920 by 1200, so it's a little bit taller. Okay, so initial impressions is the top kind of has a metal look. It might be metal, but it doesn't feel cold. It feels like plastic, but it is nice and smooth. It kind of has a metal look to it. We have the newer style logo there. And on the back, we can see we have some cooling. You can even see the fins, which does look pretty cool. This plastic all feels fairly cheap, but it does feel like durable. We do have ports on the back like HDMI, USB Type-C, and then your power, which is super nice. You can see these are the hinges right there, which also I think looks pretty decent. On the bottom, the plastic gets cheaper, but still durable, which is honestly great because that's where you can save some money. Quite a bit of screws here, although they're pretty dang accessible. So for upgrading things like SSDs or GPUs, which I'm not sure yet what this has. Just the initial unboxing, first impressions, we're gonna hop in game, do some initial tests, test out the screen, things like that. But full review will be fully tested and coming in a few days, so subscribe below if you want to see that. But let's continue on. You can see we have two fans right here, so that's going to be pulling air in, blowing it out there, which is nice. Rubber on these sides, and you can see it slightly tilts it up. So these are a little bit higher. All right, so you can see it kind of has that tilt up and that gets better airflow. We also have some, looks like intake, maybe it's out right here as well. So cooling looks like it's very decent. With all just the components inside and that amount of cooling, both intake and going out, it seems like it's gonna be great. All right, so ports. We've got a Kensington lock there, so if you need to lock it, again, we have those HDMI, USB Type-C, and your power. We've got our Ethernet, or RJ45 on this side, and then a USB Type-A right there. Then we got a 3.5mm jack. That's both for, it looks like that's both for mic and audio. Switching it over to the other side, we've got another USB Type-A, although only two on this. I would prefer a little bit more, and we've got some indicator lights. Yeah, so only two USB Type-A's, one Type-C. I would have preferred more Type-A's. That would have been nice. I know having more Type-C's, probably not at this price point, but let's lift the top up. And first impressions, ooh, this feels nice. I was hoping that it wasn't gonna feel like the bottom. I really like this. This almost feels Apple-like. There's a slight edge right here that's kind of like a sharper edge, but it's plastic, so it's not abrasive at all. But that is a really nice touch. That makes it feel more like an Apple product. Kind of feels like a MacBook, which is a good thing. Then we've got some small design elements there and right here as well, which honestly, I think this looks a little bit messy. We got some stickers on there that we'll leave on for now. The screen here has fairly thin bezels on the sides, slightly thicker on the top and then a thicker one down here. But overall, I think it looks fairly attractive, especially for the price point. It's 165 Hertz. This is an IPS panel. I am excited to test out the panel. We have the Ryzen 7 and a 4060. Then up here, you can see we either have speakers or cooling, maybe both, I'm not sure. And then how is the keyboard? Keyboard is nice and like tactile. It actually feels pretty good. I do like that the W, A, S, and D and the arrow keys kind of have this like more, looks like more RGB around them. Feels good. It's orange, which kind of looks cool. Power button's right here. There's some sort of button right there, but let's power this on. All right, and there we go, it's turning on. Just go through this system. Also, forgot to mention the trackpad here. It's a nice, pretty big size. Seems pretty accurate here. Just initial impressions. How are the clicks? The clicks are okay. It takes quite a bit of force and there's like too much travel in my opinion. I don't love the clicks, but it's not a deal breaker. It seems pretty accurate right off the bat. They're kind of heavy. They're just kind of heavy. All right, I'm just gonna hook this up to Ethernet. It just had to update, so now it's kind of going through that process. I will say one thing that I don't like that kind of makes this look a little bit cheaper is these like rubber pieces. There's like pieces of rubber right here, right there, and right there. It's to kind of protect this, like the screen from this, but I think it looks kind of cheap and old. However, everything else I like, and it's not too heavy either. All right guys, and there we go, it's up, had to update, do all the stuff. You guys know what it's like with laptops. But let's go through and see if we can change some of these settings. This is our backlight here. I don't know if this is strictly orange or we can change that in software, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's probably just gonna be orange. Here's our brightness here, so we can turn it up and down. Screen initially looks pretty decent. It's not super bright. Let's go into a browser to see what white looks like. Yeah, it's not crazy bright or anything. All right, so I'm downloading the new NVIDIA drivers for the GPU. Let's go through what's already on this though. All right, so you can see here, guys, we have the Ryzen 7 8845HS. That's what comes standard on all of these V16s. We also have the integrated graphics there, which is nice for like when you're not gaming, it can use that and then save a lot on battery life. You can either get 32 gigs or 64 gigs of RAM, and then you have a bunch of different SSD hard drives, which there are no physical hard drives, so you only get SSDs. You can choose from 1, 2, or 4 terabytes of storage, but you can obviously upgrade that as well. All right, now the other thing is we're basically just downloading and installing the new RTX drivers, and you can hear, I'm gonna put my mic a little bit closer, the fans are definitely on. Now, it's not crazy cool in here. It's probably like 74. We're keeping it a little bit hotter because it's getting cold outside. And the fans will come on and off. It's not crazy loud yet, but we'll see how it is in game. And as far as heat, right here is completely cool, and it starts to get a little bit warm around here. But even putting my hand up here, it's a little bit hot right here, but it's not hot. It's like just starting to get warm. It's mainly warm right here. What about over the keys? I'm gonna kind of press on these a little bit. The WASD keys are perfectly cool right now, which I've played on some gaming laptops, and the WASD keys heat up, and you gotta get yourself a keyboard when that happens. This is dead cool over here. It's a little bit warm right here, but over here it's dead cool. We'll see if that changes during gameplay, but so far pretty good. Now it's been a few hours. I've gotten the drivers up to date. I did a little bit of a Windows update, and I got Steam and some games downloaded. Before we hop in game and do an initial test, let's go into NitroSense, which is kind of like the brains of configuring everything. It's kind of like their version of Razer Synapse. All right, so right here you can see we have the GPU frequency. It just turned off because it's not using it. I think it's using the integrated one on the CPU. And then you have temps here, you can do monitoring, you have percentage of RAM used. There's a lot of stuff here. Now, one of the cool things that you can do is you have like quiet modes here, you have a balance mode, performance, and turbo modes, but you can also go into fan control specifically. And what's crazy is when I click this, it's immediately gonna just like, fans are gonna be at full. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is literally immediate. I'll click auto, and it's like, and it's over. I'm gonna put my mic really close so you can just hear how quickly it happens. Pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. You can also customize it fully. There's an auto, but I can literally just control the RPM of both the GPU and the CPU fans separately, which is really cool. We'll leave it in auto. But the fans actually will throttle on and off pretty regularly, but from my experience, when I'm just on the desktop pretty much doing nothing, the fans are just off. It's like dead quiet. Sometimes it'll come on and then cool it and then turn off. And that I like. There's a lot of settings in here. One of the cool things is you can actually change the boot logo, I think to like, yeah, you can just change it to a custom logo for your boot logo, which is pretty cool. You can also change the backlight off for the keyboard, so now it'll just stay on, which we'll actually leave that on. There's also an LCD overdrive, so that must be the ghosting settings. Let's go and test that right now, actually. All right, so here we are in the ghosting test, and honestly, there's more ghosting than I expected for an IPS panel. This does have a significant amount of ghosting. Let's try changing it and turning on that LCD overdrive. And it might have changed. It looks like it might have changed a little bit. Maybe slightly, I can't honestly tell, but there definitely is ghosting that's apparent here. Yeah, more ghosting than I was expecting. That's interesting. Overall color accuracy, I can also tell you, is slightly off. I think online I saw that this is rated like 400 nits, which I can tell you right now it's not doing. This seems closer to like low 300s. So there's battery in charge, screen, keyboard. There's a lot of things to change here. You can also set this to stay at 80% if most of the time you're plugged in, which is cool to help battery health. There's monitoring, there's an app center and stuff. Pretty cool stuff, but with that, I think we should test out the gaming. All right, guys, jumping right into game in Battlefield 1. Right away, there is a little bit of ghosting for sure present here. It's still an IPS panel, so it's better than like VA panels that you're gonna get. However, just more than I was expecting. When I thought VA panel, and yes, this is a budget laptop, I don't know, it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but performance, right away, let's talk performance. Number one, let's mute this really quick. We're in game, full resolution, full refresh rate, good frames right away, but the fans are not super loud. I'm gonna go pretty close to it so you can hear. It's not crazy loud. Right here is warm, it's not hot. But on the WASD keys, it's not really that hot. Over here is pretty cool as well. It's getting a little hot over here, but not hot, just slightly warm. I didn't even mean to say hot. This is the warmest spot, but so far that's really good. And the fans are not that loud. Also, the speakers aren't bad at all either. Yeah. Also, it looks like we're getting full frames, I think, or pretty close to it. Let's see if we can do a frame counter here. Yeah, getting full frames here, 164, 160 frames. Very good. Yeah. Let's see what we're actually at in terms of quality here. So we're at 1920 by 1200, 165 hertz, right? But then let's go into, we're on medium settings. It's on auto, so it set it in auto, but let's actually just go on ultra settings. This is in Battlefield 1 on ultra. This isn't an easy game to run, honestly, even though it's older. We're still hitting 150 frames, 158, 156, 161. I mean, still decent frames in ultra. I mean, that's not even decent, that's actually very good. I'm impressed, honestly. And even without the fans going crazy. Yeah, the fans are not even close to being on full here. All right, now the panel, the screen here. First impressions, it's undersaturated. It's just undersaturated a little bit. The ghosting isn't too big of a deal. Like, it's definitely better than most VA panels. As far as ghosting, having 165 hertz is nice, although that's really become like an industry standard, which is not how it was just a few years ago. But it's very enjoyable, and the performance here is really good without getting too hot. It seems like, and I'm just gonna call this out, right? No long-term test here, but I think the cooling here is really quite good, and the overall packaging focuses on the right things, which I think is performance. All right, now that we've been playing for a little bit, the keys right here, especially it's more on this edge, I can feel the heat coming out of here. It's not crazy, but this edge, because of that, is the thing that's getting a little bit hot. But again, it's not hot, it's slightly warm. Even up here is not getting hot, it's just warm. So the kind of like insulation between over the keyboard is something that not everyone pays attention to, and it's good here. All right, now again, full resolution, full everything here, and we're still hitting 139, 161 frames here. And I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't seem like that's actually gonna decrease, at least for a little bit, maybe with the longer gaming sessions and it really heating up, but so far I've seen really no drop in performance at all, continuing to run ultra, because those fans are not ramping up at all yet. And I feel like preemptively they would ramp up if we're gonna start losing performance, but it's honestly, for being ultra and on this, it's pretty dang quiet. So far, really impressed with the performance. I think of the sore spots, the trackpad isn't bad. Don't love the clicks, but again, this is budget. I think the build quality overall is pretty good. It's not too heavy. I think the cooling is probably going to be one of the better parts of this monitor. The screen, I have mixed feelings about. It's definitely not bad, especially because you're getting 165 hertz. I do like that taller resolution, having 1920 by 1200. But again, those will be in the full review. If you do, again, want to check this out, look at the specs, pick one up, Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. We are going to be going in depth, doing all the testing, and then doing a full produced review video. Again, coming in a few days, maybe a week. So subscribe below to Type C Tech Reviews if you do want to see that. But this was Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.